I spent 2 hours playing with the artificial intelligence machinery online and creating women in various states of happiness and crying and being crazy or manipulative. And I didn't really put in very many different style guides, such as make a photograph in the style of some particular artist, but sometimes I did. One time I put in a video game, but for the most part, I just said, create a beautiful woman wearing a choker made of diamonds, or maybe with a gold circle on the front, signifying that she is a submissive, and put her in a white dress and give her curly hair and make her very beautiful. Sometimes I said, make her the most beautiful girl who ever lived. And then occasionally I would change up the hair color and the skin tone once I realized that I was getting mostly white women back. I thought, oh, I need to try some different skin tones because I don't want just a bunch of white ladies. And then the party guests that I called for in the background were coming in at, mostly white, but with a little bit of a diversity. And then eventually I said, okay, just make the party guests diverse because I realized that the software wasn't going to do that itself because artificial intelligence doesn't think in terms of what it's going to get in trouble for. However, there is one thing that artificial intelligence thinks it's going to get in trouble for, and that is sexuality. So occasionally I would say, I want to see this woman's whole body. And then the software would come back and say, I can't do that because that's dirty and you're a filthy pervert. And then I would go, okay, look, I'm not trying to make her nude, even though I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that either. I just want to see the whole woman from the head to the toes. Like I wanted to see a woman in a dress and shoes, and I wanted the whole body in the image. And whenever I told the artificial intelligence to do this, it would tell me that I was a pervert because it thought words like full body meant nude. Or perhaps, I don't know what they're doing to program this, but it's possible that when the artificial intelligence goes for a search for full body, it gets results of nudity or something and then thinks that I'm a dirty person. And then I feel like I'm on trial for wanting to see a woman in a dress, and I feel like that old Kafka-esque movie, I think it's called The Trial or something, where a guy, gets put in prison for no real reason or something, or he's not sure what he's done. They won't tell him what he's done. And that's basically what the internet is at this point. The giant corporations that run everything, like Google and Apple and Microsoft and Facebook and blah, 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 they've all, for the most part, with a few exceptions, decided that, we cannot even have PG rated things anymore. And I'll give you a good example for this. Even though there are bikini women in these images, when I said, show me a woman in a bikini, it would tell me that I was a pervert and that I am the worst person who's ever lived. And I just think, like, well, okay, look, all right, I'm using Bing to do this. And I could go to Bing Images and type in, show me a woman totally nude, showing me all of her with everything open, wide open, and it would show me those images. So, but you're not going to just put a woman in a bikini, or you're not going to show me a woman who's head to toe in a white dress with shoes on. I mean, what is this? You know, now the other thing that's amazing to me is probably the same thing that's amazing to you is that, these images look pretty spectacular And it's hard for me to really complain because these were all free. I want to just back up for a second and just tell you that all of these images were free. So all I did was I just went into the Bing image generating AI thing, whatever it's called, I don't know. And then I just said, "Hey, create a photo or a photo illustration in the style of an oil painting or digital photo, or some. A lot of times I wouldn't say in the style of anything. I just wouldn't use a style, and then I would click a button, and then all of a sudden, here's like the world's most beautiful fake woman with tears and a choker and curly, beautiful hair, and she's at a party with people. And what I realized immediately is that what's going to happen eventually is there will be no more movies really made or put out or something. Or maybe they will, but they will still be making movies and TV shows. You know what? Of course they will. But what will also happen is you will just stand in front of your TV or your phone or your tablet or whatever, your laptop, and then you'll go like, "Hey, create an hour and a half action adventure movie about the future where it's a dystopia and blah blah blah." You're going to give it all these values, and then some movies just going to be rendered on the fly for you, and it's going to have moving characters, and it's going to have dialogue, and it's going to have explosions. It's not going to have any sex in it, of course, because this is America, and if you want to blow someone's head off, that's G rated. And then if you want to show someone in a bikini, that's X rated, because America has become some kind of weird, dysfunctional place where we value violence over sexuality. And you know what's really frustrating to me about this is the entire reason the human race is even persisting is because of sex. Like, you can take away a certain amount of food, and you can take away all kinds of shelter and whatever. And guess what? The human race will die without sex. And that's the thing that we have outlawed. And, we have this worldwide thing where the birth rate's going down. Well, guess what? It's because culture's so anti-sex. And then you go, but what about all the sex that I see, like with, that's on the internet or that's in HBO or just that you have with in my DMs. I mean, I get all kinds of people sending me awesome videos and photos in my DMs of of them masturbating or having sex. And I would like to applaud them for doing that, because the more the better. If you have photos and videos of yourself having sex, please send them my way, because I'm not a prude. Anyway, let's get back to the issue at hand, which is I always get sidetracked when I talk about sex and prudery. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that, you know what? I was watching this show last night, and there was a thing at the beginning, and it said, hey, warning, this contains self-harm. But then there wasn't a warning that told me there was going to be a bunch of murder. And I'm like, "Ugh, okay, so why are you showing me murder? If you're so worried about self-harm, maybe you should be worried about murder too." Anyway, okay, so all I wanted to get at is the future. You're going to be able to just tell something to make a movie. It's going to make it for you for free or for $5 or something. It's kind of amazing. And you'll probably do that with porn. And then you're going to have an Oculus on your head, and it's all going to be integrated, and you're going to be interacting with it. And we're all going to be plugged into the Matrix. I mean, this is honestly. Look at these images. This is the beginning of the Matrix. Anyway, I love you very much, and I hope you're having a really great day. Go have some fun with some images.